this one or this one? Or will this be just right? Hari Om! Welcome back to Story Time. It is that time of the year when all sisters start spending their time looking around in the shops for the Rakhis to be sent to their dear brothers. This is the festival of love, affection, faith and trust between two individuals bound together not just by blood, not by just being born in the same family, but this is a bond of Raksha Bandhan. So, let us hear this story today. Raksha Bandhan is celebrated in the Shravan month on the Shukla Paksha Purnima or the full moon day. It is said that Draupadi and Lord Krishna were the very first two individuals who began this tradition. Do you know how? It seems once when the Pandavas and Draupadi were residing in the huge new kingdom of Indraprastha, Lord Krishna was ever by their side. And it so happened that once suddenly Draupadi noticed that blood was spurting out from the lotus petal-like fingers of Sri Krishna. As everyone started scurrying about, some to get medicine, some to get herbs, some to get some bandages, Draupadi, without even thinking or hesitating for a moment, tore a piece of her sari and immediately wrapped it around the fingers of Sri Krishna. And then she pressed it till it stopped bleeding. And when everybody had returned, they were very surprised because they told Draupadi that you tore your very auspicious and very holy sari. Because this sari was worn by her, it was a gift from her Pandava husbands. She had worn it when she sat beside King Yudhishthira in front of the sacrificial fire on the day that he was coronated and made the king of Indraprastha. And so they asked her, Draupadi, by tearing this auspicious sari, isn't it considered inauspicious? It is a symbol of welfare, prosperity, purity. But as Sri Krishna was looking at her very fondly and sweetly, even Draupadi just felt supremely happy. Because her dear Sakha, Sri Krishna, was in pain, and how could she wait or bother for a mere sari or piece of cloth? And even Sri Krishna looked at her and blessed her, saying that he would protect her ever and ever and ever. He would always be beside her, and so she need never have any fear. Now, as we know, Draupadi herself was Yagnaseni. She was born out of a sacrificial fire. But because of a turn of events, she was married and became the wife of 5 brothers, the Pandavas. Their cousins, the Kauravas, were very mean and unjust. And as we all know, they refused to even give a share of the kingdom of Hastinapur and had in fact given a barren and wild jungle called as Khandavaprastha. But it is because that the Pandavas were so righteous and so capable that they converted it into a beautiful kingdom which now even Duryodhana wanted to own. And so it happened that by deceit, by cunning, by cheating, Duryodhana invited King Yudhishthira for a game of dice. As we know, Yudhishthira had a big weakness, and that was that he could never refuse an offer to play the game of dice. And in that game, Duryodhana made Shakuni sit instead of him. And Shakuni, totally cunning and deceitful, he managed to make Yudhishthira lose game after game after game. So initially, Yudhishthira lost his kingdom and riches. Then he lost himself, his brothers, and finally, very shamefully staked his wife Draupadi and lost. Now, the entire court who was watching actually stood still and silent. They should have protested at this injustice, but no one spoke a word. And finally, Duryodhana, he was now reveling in the joy that he had defeated his arch rivals, his cousins, the Pandavas. He ordered that Queen Draupadi, who was no longer a queen, for she was lost in this game and hence she was a mere slave. Duryodhana ordered that Draupadi be brought there in front of everyone to that very court. Everybody was shocked, but still nobody stopped him. And so a message was sent to Draupadi. Now, Draupadi, being a queen, could never imagine in her wildest dreams that she would ever be humiliated. And so, as she sat in her inner chambers and received this message, she was furious. She sent a message back asking Yudhishthira whether it was he who had lost himself first or had he staked Draupadi before that. But instead of a response, Dushasana came there. Dushasana, no less wicked, no less vile, came there, taunted her and told her, Draupadi, you are not a queen anymore. Why should you sit here? Come, you ought to be where the slaves stand in the court in front of us. And Draupadi, though she couldn't believe her ears, still tried protesting. But Dushasana pulled her by her hair and screaming, crying, wailing, Draupadi was dragged to the court. Full of embarrassment, Draupadi just began looking around for help. But everybody was silent. Can we imagine that in that great court of Kuru Raja, where King Dhritarashtra sat, where the great grandsire Bhishma Pitamaha sat, where the venerable teacher Dronacharya sat, and these 5 strong husbands of hers, nobody raised a word against this injustice. Draupadi still tried to ask them and make them see reason. She appealed to everybody in the court, but still nobody could do anything. Queen Draupadi, who once thought that nobody could even touch a hair on her head, now stood there shivering with embarrassment, humiliation and shame. And at that time, the ultimate insult was added. Dushasana told her, Draupadi, you are a slave. You don't own anything at all. No riches for you, no jewels and no clothes. Your husbands here, so-called brave, so-called strong, so-called valiant, are all lost here and sitting like slaves. So now it is time for me to take whatever is on you. And he began pulling out the sari that she was wearing. Draupadi, shaken to the core, just began to appeal helplessly but in vain. And at that time, she realized that no human being could ever be by her side till the very end except for her Govinda. And she lifted her hands up and called out, O Govinda, O beloved of the gopis, O savior of the devotees, please come and help me. At that instant, a miracle happened. The Sudarshana Chakra began whirring around in the court, and from it started flowing robe after robe, which began draping itself around the body of Draupadi, retaining her modesty. This was the very same Sudarshana Chakra whose blades had injured Lord Krishna long back, and a strip of cloth was given by Draupadi to stop the bleeding on his finger. And this is how he repaid the favor. Lord Krishna, the savior of the devotees, came to help her when nobody else could do that. And as the entire court watched spellbound, they realized that this was indeed a miracle. Dushasana tried pulling out length after length of the sari, but it grew to such a heap that he fell down, tired, dejected, and now the object of ridicule of the entire court. While Draupadi just folded her hands in gratitude to her beloved Sakha Sri Krishna. Following this tradition, every year a sister ties a Rakhi, that thread and bond of love, around her brother's wrist, and in return, the brother always vows to protect her to the best of his capacity and abilities. The sister, on her part, always offers prayers so that her brother is always safe, happy, and blessed by the Lord. The occasion of Raksha Bandhan brings alive many more stories, because this is a relationship that is not based on just being born in the same family. Two individuals can come together in this feeling of love and affection, and the thread of love binds them forever. May we also all have in our lives that special bond or a special relationship that we cherish and relive every year on Raksha Bandhan. If you like today's story, do share it with your brothers and sisters, and I will be back with another story next Thursday. Until we meet again, Hari Om.